Happy Monday, I'm Duran. This is Duran's Demos brought to you by Roaming Around, and we're still talking about the puffy jackets. This week we're going to talk about synthetic jackets. Now, just to rehash a few basic ideas, what's the benefit of a synthetic jacket over a down jacket? Well, this has better weather resistance. Mainly, if this thing gets sopping completely wet somehow, it's still going to hold its loft. It's still going to hold its shape pretty good. That's going to allow it to trap some of that warm air rising off of my body, and it's going to keep insulating. Versus a down piece where if it gets wet, it loses virtually all of its insulating capabilities and just kind of becomes this wet, heavy blanket. We don't want that. The other big advantage is price. This thing costs $200. This is the Nano Puff from Patagonia. $200 versus the down sweater that we kicked off the last video. That's $230 for 800 fill power down. So we're saving a little bit of cash there for two jackets that kind of serve the same purpose. What is that purpose, you ask? Well, these are both kind of your shoulder season jackets. I'm gonna wear this Nano Puff. You know, I'm gonna have it in my suitcase or I'm gonna have it in my backpack during the summer if I know I'm going somewhere that is colder, higher elevation, or maybe someplace like Germany or Scotland where you just kind of get cool weather year round and you want something more weather resistant and appreciably more warmer than just a heavy sweater. Nano Puff is awesome for that. The other thing that we like about the Nano Puff, this kind of sets the standard for this style of not too puffy but pretty puffy synthetic jacket. What I mean by that, it has a 20 denier shell. Think of denier like thread count. The higher the thread count, the stronger the material, but at the cost of weight and packability. And it has 60 grams of insulation, which is gonna be a recurring theme on a lot of like $200-ish synthetic puffy jackets. They're all gonna run that 60 grams, which is just kind of like, in layman's terms, the overall thickness of the jacket. Some people will want to meet me on the playground at dawn and fight me for making the claim that this is the archetypical synthetic jacket. There are some that do things better than the Nano Puff. There are some that are a little bit cheaper. There are some that are lighter, but 20 denier shell, 60 grams of insulation, great shoulder season piece. This really does everything that a synthetic jacket needs to do. Now, we do have places to go from this. If you want it lighter and more packable, I'm gonna steal it from our pygmy moose here because he don't need it. He's got a fur coat on. This is the Micro Puff, also from Patagonia. This is the new fancy toy. Last week, or maybe a couple of weeks ago now, I said that there wasn't synthetic insulation that's kind of nipping at the heels of down in terms of weight and packability. It's this one right here. Patagonia claims that this is their best weight to warmth ratio jacket of all time, full stop. Now, it's important to note that there are a few caveats that get it there. 20 denier shell, 10 denier shell. So if you know that you're really hard on your things like this guy, or you're doing something like climbing or doing belay around granite and a lot of sharp pointy things, maybe go with a thicker, more robust material than this. And the other caveat is the stitches continue all the way through. We don't have that nice sleeve of nylon that's going to do a better job of blocking wind like we do with the Nano Puff. So yes, it gets lighter, it gets more packable. If we're doing a big old through hike, this is an awesome, lightweight, packable piece for that. But for most daily use and some more hardcore applications, go with something a little bit stronger, I think. Hey, here's something stronger. Jill is wearing the Das Parka. Patagonia's had this thing in its catalog for years and years and years and years. It's recently been redesigned. It has that same Micro Puff insulation, but here we've paired it with a thicker, more robust shell material. That's gonna give it more wind resistance. It's gonna give it more durability. It also has the longer cut with the higher collar with the big old puffy hood. This is an appreciably warmer, more durable piece, and it only costs the low price of like $330, I think is what we're up to. $300 for the Micro, $200 for the Nano. Okay, last thing we're gonna say for the synthetic fill power, we're saving money over down. So we can pack a few more features in a synthetic jacket that for the price point, you're just getting the down. This is the Black Powder 2 jacket from Outdoor Research. It has 40 grams of insulation, so it runs a little bit lighter, but it has a fully waterproof, windproof exterior, and it's a really, really high denier exterior too. It has an itty bitty baby powder skirt. It has all the pockets. This is a fully fledged ski jacket for $300, and you can wear it around town all winter because it's really quite warm, and it's got kind of a fit and a fill that still lets you put a nice thick down piece underneath and kind of layer it up if you have to. The other thing you're going to run into out there are synthetic jackets that have more of this soft shell build. This is the Winter Ferocity jacket, also from Outdoor Research, and it's kind of typical to these better breathing, better wicking, maybe a little bit more or less insulated, depending on which one you buy, synthetic insulated soft shells. This one's got 80 grams of insulation, and it has this nice kind of jersey material. So this is actually going to be a touch warmer than the Nano Puff that we started, and it's only going to cost you some amount of money. I can't find the tag right now. Google it. All right, guys, that was a lot of ground to cover, so thank you very much for bearing with me. And as always, stop into the store if you want to have a longer conversation about what synthetic jacket is best for you. Thank you and have a good week.